Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Ben Taylor podcast, the home of marine industry insights. This episode is brought to you by Superyachts Services Guide, a trusted directory that's on board many yachts around the world, and you can only be in it by referral from another captain, so they're truly trusted services. Today, it's going to be quite an interesting episode, to be honest, because it's a little bit about a product, Panoblu, a camera product, but it's also a little bit about the nuances of supplying the superyacht industry.
Yeah.
Decision makers, privacy, all these different elements that kind of need to align to bring a camera to market. So it should be really interesting. Nice to meet you, Sascha. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Ben.
Give us some context first. What's Panoblu? What actually is the product? What's the mission there?
So Panoblu is effectively a 360-degree camera solution, which we design exclusively for the yachting segment. So we've been around in various ways for a little while. But last year, we've really developed the first true 360-degree thermal infrared camera for yachts. So it's a camera body that's fully marine proof, right? It goes in the mast, and that gives you on the bridge a complete perspective of everything that's going on around the yacht.
You can see how useful it can be, especially for things like close quarters navigation, seeing obstacles, whatever might be around you, and you get this really clear perspective, a bit like a car reversing camera, that kind of perspective.
Exactly. So I've got it here, but it's that perspective. And the good thing about it is because it's 360, I can literally just with a touchscreen zoom in and see everything that's going on. So that's an 80-meter boat there. And you can really see everything that's going on around. I'm just going to pause it just to give you that perspective a bit better. You see the sailing vessels, the quality is really there. You see everything, and you can just move around. You see buoys here that are several hundred meters away. I always get the buoys pronunciation slightly wrong, so excuse me.
Yeah, we know what you're talking about. Yeah,
the German accent is coming out. But the important part is that you really do see everything that's going on in terms of heat signature. And here you've actually got people on the jetty that are walking around. So I'm going to play that video again. And this is continuously, available on board on the local network and gives you that live perspective.
And that angle is particularly useful. So you mentioned it goes on the mast earlier. That's actually a motor yacht. So it's not limited just to sailing yachts with a nice, really tall mast to just plonk it on the top. It's relevant for motorboats. It's just the highest point.
Exactly.
So you can get a really nice perspective all around the perimeter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we put it right up there, above the anchor lights or with the anchor lights and so on. And that varies on every yacht.
Okay, just because different shapes, different
shapes, so on. And so what we've just done is we've designed the camera in such a way that it actually can look around the mast itself. So that's why here, this yacht has actually got a beam that it's attached to. And because of the lenses, the way we put them together, it's not just one lens. It's actually 12 thermal infrared cameras.
All right, okay, and then it threads them all together and gets one perspective. Nice.
Yeah. So that's how we do that. And that way we can also look around the obstacles and eliminate any blind spots. So when you're on anchor watch, when you're maneuvering in a tight port, you can just see everything that's going on. And of course, we do this in not just infrared.
Yeah, so you mentioned infrared, thermal imaging, also just natural light, so you can see it in full high definition. It actually quite good social media content.
Totally.
Yeah.
But this is the beauty of it, right? So here I've got we were in Monaco during I think this was actually during the Grand Prix one year.
Okay, awesome.
So this is the vessel that we were on.
Yeah.
And again, you can see all the other vessels on the horizon, and it gives you a really interesting or a really useful and informative perspective of where you are. So if you are anchored in, at these busy bays, especially here like at a yacht show, there's 100 boats out there.
Look at us, we're rafted up. There's
right.
Less than a meter between each one.
Yeah.
And you'd still be able to, you'd visually see exactly where your boat is and where everything is around you.
Exactly.
In addition to, you've got crew members on the side of the boat communicating with you through radio and things like that. You've also then got this to know exactly what they mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I believe there's also a distancing.
Yes. So this is a new feature that we're releasing this year.
Okay, cool.
I'll give you a preview here, which we're calling Panoblu Rad. Because I thought that was a really
cool
good
name. Yeah. Yeah, well done.
So, and RAD stands for Range Awareness Display.
Right, okay, nothing to do with radar.
Nothing to do with radar.
Right, okay.
So it's completely optic based. And what happens is when we install the camera, we will take the height of the yacht. We can tap into the NMEA data. So if the boat rises and falls, we can calculate that in.
Right, smart.
So with that, we can then calculate the distance based on the optics to the vessels around us. So again, show you on the iPad, we move it around and we can immediately see that this other vessel there is 100 meters or 300 feet away.
Yeah.
right? So this is easy, and you can configure these rings to be any distance that you want. That means, you get your closest point of approach visually. That is perspective in the 360 image, you've got it. But you can also then just zoom in and see exactly where you're at. Yeah, and we're calling it Panoblu Rad. It's super simple, but it's just intuitive because everything is 360, and this just adds that.
Yeah, you can see its use case straight away. And how widely are cameras used on board yachts now? Are there similar technologies? Is there anything? So what's the alternative? Would you actually be on some kind of like sonar or a radar to get a comparative measurement okay, it's 300 feet away to the next vessel?
Yeah.
Is that what crew and captains will be looking at today?
I think so.
It could be.
You've got active systems. You've got your AIS data that's coming in. You've got radar. Those all give you information in different sensing techniques. So those are different types of sensors. Your AIS is GPS data, for example. You know where the other boats are, what their headings are. That calculates your closest point of approach with regards to your heading. Yeah. But when you're at anchor, you see tenders approaching that may not provide that information. Yeah. You see fishing boats in. I was talking to a captain, and they were off the coast of Guatemala, and they were going at night. They were motoring at night, and there was hundreds of fishermen sleeping on their boats. No lights, no batteries, no beacons, no AIS. Wooden fishing boats, rowing boats.
And they're so small that they're not on. They can't be tracked. They can't be seen on these.
Exactly. So that's where the thermal view really comes in, which is why a lot of vessels already have, thermal cameras on board, and we're not looking to replace those.
I'm glad you've said that, because everything I know about navigation and essentially understanding where your boat is and what it's doing is not relying on one device or piece of information, but actually cross-referencing from many.
Exactly.
Gets you the most accurate picture of what's going on and the most reliable picture that's going on. This can be an additional element to visually. Yeah. If I was stood at the top of the vessel, this is what I'd see, and it's there on the bridge on display.
Exactly.
Happy days.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So it's watch keeping. It's your rule 5. Like, have the best tools available to keep a good watch. Like, there's no reason why you can't have this on an iPad if you're on night watch and you're doing your rounds.
Here we are on the lounge. We're nowhere near the bridge. It could be there. Yeah.
You have this constantly available. You can pipe it down into the engine room. Yeah. I even had one captain who suggested, "Oh wait, so I can put this on low contrast in my cabin on the TV. Yeah. And when I wake up, I just see what's going on."
Yeah. That's where we are.
So your reaction time is virtually instantaneous. Obviously, humans are a factor that we have to take in.
We really get into the fine refinement there. Yeah. How do conversations go with this? So if you're meeting crew and captains, maybe it's through yacht management owners, what do the conversations look like? Are people immediately enthusiastic? Is there certain objections that they often go to? Who are the decision makers of this? Is it captains can say, we want it, this is great, this would help? Do they then apply for budget? Do they go to yacht management saying, can we have this? Do they go to their owner? What happens?
It's different for every yacht, it seems, right? It's
sounds fun. Damn it.
So please, if anybody has the solution to this, let me know, right? Yeah. Like, I'm talking to management firms, I'm talking to captains directly. Yeah. I try to market as much as I can to crew and captains, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that are going to use it.
They're on board. Yeah.
They're on board. For fleet managers, we can actually supply the feed over the cloud as well, completely secure with password protected and so on. So that is possible.
What's the shore side? They could have a visual reference of every boat they manage just right there.
Yeah. So if there's a charter operator that owns 6 vessels, they can have in their management office, they can secure, they can do that. So it's got a security aspect. Obviously, it's a camera. The camera itself is always on by default, but you do have the power to control access. So security is built in. Yeah. You can restrict it. We have password management, account management, recordings are encrypted. So all of that is secure as a nature, and it can live on board. So the security aspect is, and safety for the guests is there, right? Yeah. Because nothing leaves the vessel unless the captain or the crew or the management specifically agree. There's lots of policies that we can design around that. Okay, so essentially the bottom line is there. You can customize accordingly. Yeah. This does not have to be a 24/7 CCTV camera on board that spots and reports everything, and it's that rigid. It's what do you want to see when, what suits you, customize it accordingly. Happy days. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So, and that's where, but security is one of the main ones, right? So or privacy, actually. It's not so much security. Everybody wants to be secure, but where do you draw the line between security and privacy?
Yeah, you get that secrecy and privacy thing, don't you?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So this is privacy versus secrecy.
And there's a right to privacy. There's a massive draw to large yachts because of the privacy available to usually high-profile people that are on board. And so where...
Let me show an example.
Yeah, go for it. Go.
Yeah. We're saying, we have this camera that's always on. And if you have the Panoblu, the thermal camera only, so that's an option. You can get it thermal. You can get it thermal only or thermal with the daytime view.
Okay, yeah.
So if you have it thermal only, I'm going to show you. You see people, but they are effectively just heat blobs. Right? So this is on board looking down on our test catamaran. Yeah. So it's about 13-meter boat. And I can zoom in and obviously see that there's a person there and that they're doing something and they're moving. You see where they are. And you also see when they go overboard, right? Because they're very obvious. But what you don't see is who that is.
I was going to say, you can't say that it's you.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of infrared. You know somebody is there. You don't know who that is. So that automatically is a sort of a privacy shield. What we do offer is if somebody really has a sun deck that the camera oversees, the owner's deck or so on, we can actually, at the point of install, cut that out of the capture.
Right, okay,
Like it's not even captured.
Yeah.
So that privacy, if you want, you just do, we cut it out. The pixels aren't even recorded. We do it in the firmware so that only the vessel rim effectively is recorded so that if somebody does go overboard, you do see that.
Yeah. Yeah, and so you can literally calibrate it as you want. It sees what you need and not necessarily more than what you need or what you want.
Exactly.
So this goes on to insurance and I suppose yacht management as well.
Yes.
Both entities usually want to see as much as they can to assess risks, review situations and events that have happened. Wouldn't this be a great resource to them to say, well, I'll show you exactly what happened. Here's a video.
Yeah, totally. That's what I'm saying. If it's recorded, we can obviously integrate with the video management systems on board or the vessel data recorders that exist. And the beauty of that is, for example, we have here a view. I can in the software very easily create a forward view. So that's a permanent forward-looking view that just runs, and no matter where else I look.
Oh, clever. That's a live image. That's ongoing.
So that gives you that perspective. So the captain always has that live view, but I can monitor vessels coming up from behind.
Yeah, seen.
Now,
so it's like a customized dashboard, but different parts and viewpoints of the camera, all calibrated in one display.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's really good.
Well done. That's impressive.
Now I see, actually, hey, hang on a second. There's this vessel that came here. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
I can literally just go back a few seconds and go, okay, where did that come from? And because everything is recorded, there it was. So I'm now back 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And if I want to, double click here, mark that as a key incident, and then it's archived, it's recorded, date time stamped. It can't be deleted unless you have special rights.
Yeah.
And then it's there. So incident review is perfect, even if you weren't looking at it at the time.
So incident reporting, all that kind of thing, which is pretty hard to document.
Yeah.
That would be then, well, this is what happened, easy, done. And
it's transparency, it's honesty about what happened. You can learn from it, right? It's obviously, we don't want to make it punitive or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it's up to the owners and the people who have it on how they use it.
Yeah.
It's under their control. We are not mandating from the insurance companies.
Yeah.
Although I could see a world where that does happen.
Yeah.
Where an insurance company goes, well, if you are going to do a Red Sea passage or you're going through the Red Sea over to the Maldives, have this camera on board because you can see, vessels approaching you from miles away.
And to me, I know it's hard to kind of look at insurance as, you're limiting what we can do and it's all kind of like negatively done. Actually, if you get the right insurance and the right companies doing it, it's to reduce the risk of that vessel.
Yeah.
And so if this is something that reduces the risk for bad things happening that broad, whether that's, vessels around you that impose a danger, people on board, whatever it might be, if they're saying you're less at risk by doing this, then it's probably in the vessel's interest to do it. I think the most interesting bit is, okay, you're an owner, you bought this thing to do what you want with. If you have less freedom as a result, then maybe that goes against, what they want to do with the yacht. But you can see a perfectly valid use case where used in the right way, customized accordingly, which Panoblu can, then actually it can serve crew captains, yacht management, insurance, everybody involved pretty well.
Yeah, I think so. And that's the beauty of it. And then not only that, it goes beyond that. You have a leisure application as part of it, right? So you give the guests the video of their entire voyage, and then you have this beautiful, I showed it earlier, when we went through Monaco there.
It is cool social media content.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
and
here
it's
we are
just,
coming in.
It does go a little bit further because we had a vessel, I'll draw up the map here. So we have a full interface, so you can see exactly the history of where the vessels have been as well. So if that's something you wanted to enable. And we had an Arctic explorer that went to the Arctic, and you get a full history of that. Right, so you go back to
beautiful. So you can say at this point of the voyage, when we were on the balcony chilling out and we saw that beautiful view, rather than pulling your phone out and kind of ruining the moment, you can say that's the moment. That was the view we were looking at. Great.
Yeah, exactly.
There, you've got it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's got it's got tons of applications in that respect. So and then you have the entire map of where the vessel has been. You can pick them at random, and I don't know which one's good here, which one's at night. So this is where the thermal system would have been handy back then. Yeah. So the thermal system really came out of the feedback from this voyage. Yeah. We need to navigate at night. There's ice. We want to be able to see it. Yeah. And we thought, okay, let's do the thermal. Yeah. And it's been quite a challenge. The technology involved in providing live 360-degree video, we're piping out, constant data stream.
I was going to say, it's video. A lot of, I'm used to file sizes or this recording, but this is, it's quite a lot of data, potentially in remote locations, and storing it securely, encryption, Yeah.
So we have that all on board. Okay. But we provide the entire workflow from capture. We designed, manufacture ourselves. We've written the software ourselves. So we have complete control over that ecosystem. Nice. Except for actually, obviously some key components that we've had supply issues with. Right, yeah. Overcome now. So
good. You found a solution.
Now we're making. We're making. So it's really cool, and it hasn't been easy. It's taken a lot of R&D, and we're really proud of what we're doing. So I'm hoping to speak to a lot more captains and figure out which vessel has which purchasing power where. The captain wants it. The yacht managers think it's a good idea. The owner's rep thinks it's awesome. And if you're not a sailor, sometimes it's hard to understand, right? So I'm also doing this education piece around 360. Yeah. So I'm at yacht shows walking around with, the Insta360, which is the consumer version, which is great, right?
Yeah, but people understand it. People understand that concept. In fact, that's why it looks like social content, because there's people filming on 360 cameras, right? Yeah. Come on, Ben. But it's more, you don't walk up to many super yacht captains and go, oh, it's a 360 camera on the top of your boat. It's a little bit more like, no, this is how a 360 camera works. This is the kind of use case. All right, okay, penny drops. I get it now. It's going to be useful for navigation, safety,
Exactly. Yeah. And then it's working with them, getting to test it. And, we're perfectly open if a captain's really going, well, look, I need to see this. I need to see if it works. We're running what we call the early adopters program. Which is a little bit, and I'll say it really bluntly, right? This is a new product. So we are not captains.
So you guys are learning. They're kind of learning.
They're learning. They're giving us
a bit of it's almost like a business to business collaboration. Going, look, we're learning. We're developing this. We can install it. It'll serve you well. But we will want feedback and we'll want to refine it. We're keen to get early adopters, and it's a tiny industry. So once it's on some, it'll kind of spread.
So that's what we're hoping. So, with that, and sometimes use a phrase, maybe it's not the right phrase, but I say we share the pain, but we share the gain. Yeah. Right. So if the captain goes, oh, actually, you know what? I had it and I wanted it to do this. Right? Great. Give it to the software team. Yeah. Software update a couple of weeks later. Yeah. And they get it. Yeah. Right. So with that's the dialogue, and that's I think what's really exciting about doing it all in house. We have that flexibility.
Yeah, you got that control.
Yeah, we've got that control. So
no, good. I love that approach. And so let's look at some growth. So next few years, we've mentioned kind of how you're doing at the moment. Early adopters program, skippers can kind of try it, and it's very much embraced. It's often quite large yachts. What's a general?
So we've taken the approach of going with we're going to make the best product we possibly can. Yeah. Right. And we're going to do the
Yeah,
I mean, it goes without saying, but
Yeah.
we're not looking at it from a what's the best product we can make at this price point.
Yeah, so it's not mass production. It's not.
No, they're all made in Malta.
Yeah.
They're designed, handmade in Malta.
Okay.
We have developed a 3D carbon fiber printing process that allows us to make marine grade unibody enclosure.
Right. Okay.
Right, so we've developed that with the printing company.
That's awesome.
A solid state cooling, so there's no moving parts that can break.
Yeah.
So we're hoping for very, very few warranty issues.
To survive the marine
exactly.
environment. Like it's just brutal.
Yeah, exactly. So that should be a given. It's easy to clean. It's easy to install.
And so the niche becomes actually quite large
right.
leisure yachts. Fits that kind of interest and enthusiasm for the product, the value add and what they actually get from it, the price point, everything else. And so it kind of just aligns. Are you talking kind of 40-meter vessels plus?
At the moment, I think
like
looking at the
plus or
cost of
bigger?
the unit, I think looking at the cost of the unit, I think that's the boats that it really suits, also because of the elevation.
Sorry,
the camera,
which
the
boats?
mast, 40 meter plus, yeah.
40 meter plus, yeah.
I do have interest from a couple that are 35 meters, and actually walking around here in Cairns, which is where we're filming this, right?
Yeah.
There's been a couple of smaller vessels even where they're going, well, this is 24 meter, they're interested.
Yeah.
Right, so we've made a very, very high resolution system now. I can see a future where that comes down a little bit, depending on how we see the product being adopted and what the key parameters for operational success are.
Yeah.
And then we will adjust from there.
Yeah.
But we're going to focus on this one model that we have for this year, next year, get the feedback, get it all totally right with working with the industry, and then evolve it from there.
Okay, good stuff.
Yeah.
We'll be watching.
Thank you.
I'll be backing you. I'll probably see you at a gazillion shows. But no, it's genuinely really interesting. I talk to so many businesses in the supply chain, and I love to see this kind of realistic approach of we're going to have to research and develop this step by step. Let's get a few, let's have a test case. Yeah, that went well. Okay, let's get a few more involved, refine new features, improve. Okay, suddenly you got like a small fleet involved, then it's a bigger fleet, then it kind of comes down from the really large yachts into the smaller ones. Suddenly it's in leisure marine and all that kind of thing, and you grow with the market. So it's great to see.
It is. And then there's applications that people are thinking of that I hadn't even thought of.
Yeah. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
We'll do it tomorrow.
You got certain companies, even that I walk around and I show them, and they go, "Oh, can we do this with it?" I thought, "Oh, I haven't even thought of that." Like one of the marina companies, they say, "Oh, can we put this on a mast on the breakwater?"
See them coming into the berths.
See them coming into
any
the berths
dramas or anything like that.
Yeah, and because it can be online, right? We've developed a software player as well, so it's literally you can put this feed on any website.
Oh, okay.
So the marina wanted to put it on their website.
Yeah.
Then any boat can log in and look around and see where they're going.
Yeah, like you see in ski resorts, like when you're skiing in a few weeks and you're worried if there's snow or not.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, there's a live camera and you can see all the slopes and the chairlift and all that kind of thing. Yeah.
And you can see, like, even at night, if you have a thermal camera on your breakwater or your entrance to your marina, you have that up there. You give it a bit of elevation. Yeah. You put a flag, you put your lights, you put the camera. Suddenly, boats coming in can see ahead of time what are the conditions like, what's the sea state, what's other vessels leaving, and it doesn't replace any of the existing system. It just adds a bit more information and gives you that more information to make a good decision.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sascha, thanks for coming on the podcast.
It's been a real pleasure.
Everybody, I must say a big thank you to Gulfcraft. We're on board a Majesty 120. I think you all agree with me, it's a beautiful vessel. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thank you to Gulfcraft. Make sure you take a look at Superyacht Services Guide and of course follow along on the podcast here. All being well, we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.